Officials from Ukraine and Russia are set to meet today for negotiations. It follows a series of sophisticated Ukrainian drone attacks on Russian airfields that are believed to have destroyed two bridges. A senior U.S. defense official said it was so advanced they are unsure how Kyiv even pulled it off. CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd is monitoring the situation from Washington and joins me now. Sam, good to see you. So what can you tell us about this new offensive?
Well, Vlad, this was truly something out of a spy movie, or so it seems. Ukraine reportedly took over a year and a half to plan Operation Spiderweb, which involved smuggling drones into Russia on trucks, hiding them in cabins, and then using these drones to conduct a massive attack that targeted Russia's long-range bombers. Again, this took over a year to plan. Ukraine said that they did this alone. It did not involve the United States. And it really, from a tactical perspective, to me, shows how Ukraine is relying on weapons like drones, where it doesn't have as much of a disadvantage vis-a-vis Russia. Russia has more advanced traditional weaponry than Ukraine. So really quite a preface to the peace negotiations in Istanbul that are taking place today between Russia and Ukraine.
So will this impact those talks, Sam?
Vlad, I candidly don't think that Vladimir Putin is really meaningfully invested in these talks anyway. Certainly, Ukraine implementing this attack really does shatter any notion of Russian impenetrability. But the game changer here would be if Vladimir Putin made a decision that ending the war was in his best interest. And I don't think that that has occurred yet. I don't think this attack has changed his strategic calculus.
And neither have the presidents imploring Vladimir Putin on social media to just, quote unquote, Vladimir stop?
I don't think that Trump's social media posts have changed Vladimir Putin's perspective. Putin appears to be playing a stalling game and staying engaged enough at a working level in these negotiations that they continue. And the executive branch in the U.S. doesn't implement additional sanctions on Russia. But what we may see is a U.S. Congress move to pass veto-proof legislation that would levy even heavier sanctions on Russia, even if Trump is not willing to hold Vladimir Putin accountable for not meaningfully engaging in these negotiations.
Really interesting. Let me pivot here and ask you about Iran. There's a UN watchdog that said on Saturday that that country has increased its nuclear stockpile. What are you hearing from U.S. officials on that front?
Well, in fact, what the International Atomic Energy Agency said is that Iran has drastically increased its stockpile of what we call enriched uranium. That's uranium that could ultimately be used to create nuclear weapons. Reportedly, at this stage, according to the IAEA, Iran has enough nuclear material for 10 nuclear weapons if it decided to enrich this uranium further and then to break out to a weapon. If it did make that decision, it would likely take about 2 weeks to further enrich the uranium and then additional time to make the weapons themselves. U.S. intelligence, importantly, Vlad, has assessed that Iran has not yet made the decision to actually build a nuclear weapon. But certainly, these increased stockpiles of nuclear material are incredibly concerning. And the U.S. administration is trying to continue negotiations with Iran, but has not taken military action off the table.
Wow, very interesting. Sam, as always, fascinating reporting there. Appreciate your analysis. Thank you.
Thanks.